Thank you.
Now we are moving on to our English session. So we are having our 1726th session of continuous English daily webinar organized by IFPH. As you all know, IFPH organizes daily webinars. We have a Hindi session from 7:30 to 8:30, 8:30 to 9:30 our English international session. And from 9:30 to 10:30, we have our local Malayalam session. So before starting the session, we'll have our routine prayer. Okay, so our guest for today's English session is Dr. Mahavir Bansilal Ghiya. Dr. Mahavir, are you there?
Yes, joined. I have made him the host.
Yes, madam. Good evening to all.
Good evening, sir. Can you just switch on the video, sir, please?
Yes. I'm just making it up.
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, all.
Yes, sir. Welcome, Dr. Mahavir, to this session. Small intro of Dr. Mahavir. He has a very big list of achievements and a lot of history of teaching and into research. He's BHMS MD and PhD also in homeopathy and MA in psychology. He is also MA in public health administration, and currently he is the HOD and professor of Department of Homeopathic Repertory in Government Homeopathic Medical College and Hospital, Dithali Sidhpur District, Patan in Gujarat. And he has been into a lot of homeopathic education, homeopathic research, research on sickle cell anemia with homeopathic therapeutics, clinical research in AIDS, and a lot of papers are also being presented and in different journals. Different cases have been published, including the International Journal of Research in Homeopathy. And he has been also awarded many awards like the Best Young Dynamic Teacher in Repertory, and different reorientation training programs have been organized by him. So a very big list, as I told you. So his vision, that is whatever work we are doing, whether we are publishing or not, and what is its importance in homeopathy. So Dr. Mahavir, you're very welcome, sir, and you can start your session.
Okay. Very good evening to all of you once again. And I'm fortunate enough to be a part of your forum. I'm just sharing my PPT.
Dr. Neha, I am making you the host now.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Yeah, I'm making you the host now.
Yes.
So should I share my?
Yes, sir. Sure.
Is it visible?
Yes, yes, sir.
PPT visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is just what I say, that as far as my career goes in academics and in practice, we are very reluctant to make the things aware to all the world. So I thought that I should make such a topic that everybody is having some experience with homeopathy, with literature, with any medicine or any rare experience. I hope I'm audible to everyone.
Yeah, you are.
Yes, sir. Very much audible. Yes.
But what happened, all these experiences remains with us only. What is needed, it should get shared with all the world. For that purpose, I have purposely taken this topic, that is the importance of publication. This is just some introductions. Now, by the end of today's webinar, I am very much sure that all of us will get acquainted with what exactly the knowledge is, then how this knowledge is gathered at one platform, then why this publication is needed, then what are the different varieties of publications are available for us to make, then why these publications are needed, that will be our main focus. And then what are the barriers we are having for the publications, that I think is the most important part that we will overcome by the end of this session. So with this, I just give 30 seconds to all yourself to ask the question that what knowledge you are considering is. Just you recollect by your own self that what knowledge you are considering, what is it? So when we proceed with our answer, so what we are considering the knowledge, is it our belief? Not seen by anybody, heard from somebody, written somewhere, not having experience of that. That just belief. Second thing comes in our mind, a real truth. Though we have not seen, but it is there. Say North Pole. Hardly we have been there on the North Pole, but we are very sure that North Pole is there. Because we have seen with some experiment, we have seen that some people have reached over there. We have its photographs. And many places we get the evidences that it is there. It is not our belief that there is some North Pole and South Pole, but we know that it is a truth. So now, in between truth and belief, where knowledge stands. So it's a very, very interesting phenomena we have discovered, that whatever the belief we are having and whatever the truths are there, when we verify all these things, all our verified beliefs, they are considered as a knowledge. So knowledge is already, it is there. If you see this present century, it is called as a century of knowledge only, because from everywhere the data has been empowered on us. But what is its purity? Whether it is confirmatory or whether it is just coming as a boom to add something to it. So if unless and until it is verified, it will not become a true knowledge. So when this knowledge is there and when it is get disseminated, then that is a real bulk of knowledge. And as far as this knowledge is concerned, we have a very nice shlok in our Sanskrit. As far as this knowledge dissemination is concerned, unless and until we give it to somebody, the knowledge is not going to be increased. It is not stolen by anybody. It is not taken by our king as a part of tax. Nothing. It will be your only. But it will only increase when you share it with somebody. And when it comes to the sharing, it is the only means that is in publication. Now, what exactly the publication is? So this publication is a very, very long journey. It is just endless. You can't reach to the destination, because a very new practitioner or a very age-old practitioner or a very newcomer or a very, very senior person, still daily in his life, he acquires something and he has a capacity to share with the other world, to share with somebody, to share with his colleagues, to share with his fellow men everywhere. So I think this publication process or this publication entity is just an endless journey for us. So as far as this academic goes, what publication means, any writing, any of the writing, when you put it in the public domain, then we call it is a publications. Now we have so many things to put up under the public domain. So for out of that, how much should be the publications, right? Maybe one line, one paragraph, one article, very big book, many things are there. And because of this publication or this writing habit, I think that I got a very good quotes from somewhere that we as a human beings are a master species, God's very master species. Why? Because we can write. And writing skill makes us unique species. If you see all these species, in that only human is the one who is able to write the things. And this writing changes our perceptions. So whatever daily we are learning, every time it changes our perception. If you study the Aconite from only Bori, if you study that Aconite again from the N.M. Chaudhary book, if you read that Aconite again from the herring riding symptoms, if you go for that Aconite in a magazine who have verified or given the clinical cases out of that, every time our perception about Aconite go on more and more refined level. And I think that is the only thing by which we can change the history. And we are the witness of this, that age old, what was the phenomena, then the people have experienced the thing, then they have shared with the world through the publications, and ultimately they have changed our phenomena. So what should be that? if you remember, Einstein, when he published his theory as a part of thesis, it was just of 24 pages and it was rejected. Why it was rejected? As it was very short, only 24 pages, so it cannot be considered as a part of thesis. Right? But you see, it has changed the whole of the world. Whatever the revolutions you are able to see these today, most of them are based on this Einstein principles only. If you see the physics, which is really moving the world ahead through all these phenomena, what he has written is only 24 pages, and that part is so consolidated that still it is true. And from his point of view, the whole science is nothing than the refinement of everyday thinking. So whatever the work we are doing, and when we meditate on that, when you draw a certain conclusion, and then only the refinement occurs in our science. Now we'll see which are the very, very common publications usually available as far as this public domain is concerned. The first one is a journal article, which everybody knows. So many periodicals are there, monthly magazines are there, 7 days, 15 days, they are there. Through that also you are able to see some things. Then most common which are in our practice is conference papers, proceedings. Whenever there is a conference, articles are being called, souvenir is published, whatever the publication has occurred, whatever the papers has been published, they are accumulated and they are published in the form of proceedings. Then we have books and the chapters of the books. Now, these chapters of the book is not a system adapted as far as homeopathic literature is concerned. But when you see the allied, if you see the Davidson Practice of Medicines or Harrison Practice of Medicine or any book on these allied sciences, their whole author is not writing the whole book. Every chapter is contributed by certain specialties, by a certain person who has a special skill to explore that areas. Even if you see the Association of Physicians of India Practice of Medicine book, that is also not been, that is edited by one, but if you see their chapters, they has been added by the different persons. Then the technical reports, then white papers. More of these three things are of corporate and these political ways, and which is very common to our common man is blogs and tweets. Anybody just in the blog, he puts his idea, then in response to that, we are mentioning, giving our thoughts, our thought process, pros and cons, all these things are going on. They all are nothing but the common forms of publications. Many times they get published in the form of some books. Now, when you say the academic point of view, the publications which are having the value, which can add to the knowledge, that is an original research. Right? They are published in a peer-reviewed journals, well-reputed journals. It has its own criteria. Based on that criteria, they accept the articles. Everything which you send to this, it is not get accepted. Then the systemic review of the literatures. Many times, whatever the you are critically analyzing any book, you are critically analyzing any phenomena. When these reviews are published in the form of systemic review, then they are also one of the good source of your knowledge. Then in the clinical commentary. So this clinical commentary is widely the part of this practice, as many experiences used to occur, many discoveries are used to occur with these clinical commentaries. You might be knowing that how vitamin C was discovered as a part of therapeutic treatment for the coryza. As a doctor was in a very rush, so he has a patient has come, he is having this coryza, running nose and all those, but he don't have a time, so he had just prescribed this vitamin C for him. And then he observed that yes, by that also it is helping to all these to relieve his complaints. And then repeatedly when this has been observed, then it comes as a part of this. Yes, vitamin C has some role for the treatment of all this coryza. So like that, any current concept, any new inventories comes, on that also people use their comments. And these comments with their own experiences, when they are added, then they call it as current concept and reviews. Then come the case reports. Now, usually every practitioner treats many of the patients. So every case can become a case report or a case to be published. No, as such, scientifically, it is not the things. Any rare event, when you observe, which is not very common, when you publish that, then only it becomes. If you are writing a case with Thuja has cured the wards. It is very common and everybody knows that. But through that case report, if any unusual phenomena has come out, if any unusual thing has been confirmed, then that has its own value that will add to the knowledge of the thuja. Okay? Then many clinical suggestions. So this is the part of experience which comes up. Now, when we read the Rustox, in the skin ailments, it is always better when Rustox is indicated to give you the rust veil. It is a textbook language, right? But when the practitioner has an experience of this, and when he quoted along with this, then that has a more and more value. Like that, our homeopathic literature, if you see the clinical recorders and all our these previous magazines, which are as an archives, they are available in many of the sources, they become one of the strongest indications, strongest things, right? Everybody knows arnica is a very good medicine for the trauma, right? But after giving arnica, if it has been relieved significantly, but still some part remains, then what are the medicines to be thought of? Every time we are not seeing the totality. So the clinical suggestion comes. After arnica fails, if something is remain, after that only two medicines comes in picture, that is Rustox and Bryonia, and they are to be prescribed only on the basis of modalities. So these clinical suggestions are very, very good in our practice. And that increases our knowledge as a part of publication is concerned. So like that, so many things are there in the practice, which all the times which is not coming from our source book, but they are get added through these practitioners who are very patiently, cautiously, and scientifically observing the phenomena, and they are sharing with us. And that becomes the biggest part of body of our knowledge. And that is why if you see the information on any of the medicines, which are very commonly prescribed medicine, it goes on swelling. Why it is go on swelling? It is not an abnormal swelling. It is just the experience of different persons, they get added. Right? And that is why if you see the Kent repertory and if you see the synthesis or Murphy repertory, you see the so many medicines are added, so many information, so many rubrics, sub-rubrics has been added to that. So that is how these clinical suggestions are helping us to improve our knowledge. Then unique practice techniques. So this is not just pertaining to our system, but in all over the rest of the system. Whatever the new and newer techniques are available, though we say that in homeopathic fundamental is only one, that is a similia similibus curanter. You have to make a totality and prescribe on that totality. But to prepare that totality, to understand this totality, to extract the symptoms from the patient, to frame the totality, which can become a constituents of totality of symptoms. For that, so many after the Hahnemann, if you go on studying the literature, so many things has been evolved. So many things. Pathological general was not there at the Hahnemann's time, but Boger has introduced it. Physical generals, that was not there at the Hahnemann's time. Kent has given the terminology to that. So like that, if you see today, we have so many practicing phenomena. People may say that they are extremists, they are not following, but still they are resolved and unique practice, maybe prescribing only on the mental symptom, prescribing on this analogy, prescribing on the polarity, prescribing on the evolutionary technique, prescribing on the expert system, prescribing on the classification, different sensation method, on the all these new techniques added to our knowledge because they are verified again and again. Technical notes. Now, why these publications are important? I will talk this in two ways, that this in terms of what are the general importance of these publications and what are the very specific importance of these publications. So first of all, we will go for this general importance of publications. So first, by these publications, we as an homeopath, we as a practitioner get connected with the global homeopathic community. So this global community now, with the help of this information and technology, it becomes very easy. But unless and until we share our experiences, unless and until we share our thought process, we will be very much alone and we are not able to see what is going on in the world. So through these publications, it becomes very important part to get connected with rest of the world of the same community, so that we can also come to know that what is going on there and how it is going to be helped for us, and we can also get critically analyze all those ideas, and whatever our ideas we are sharing, they are also get critically analyzed all over the world, and whatever the truth comes out, that is helpful for all of the homeopathic community. Then this writing process, when you publish, it is very natural that you have to write something. So this writing is a very helpful tool for promoting the process of scientific thinking. See, in the very beginning, I told you that we are following belief. We have more and more belief system. But when you are in a habit of publishing, when you are in a habit of writing, you have to think of the rest of the world, whether they are going to accept it, what the scientific thought process goes on. So your mind also start analyzing the things. What I'm telling, is it relevant? Is it not relevant? In what context it will be relevant? Whatever I am telling, whatever the concept I am delivering to the world, whether it is a scientifically tested with proper designing, with the proper samples, with the proper evidences, that process is very, very helpful for us, and that gives a big good satisfaction and good clarity in our thought process. So it is very essential to have a habit of publication. Is to see our name in the print. Everybody want the praising, right? So that is a really very, very good thing, that if you are writing anything and if it get published, so whatever the pleasure you get, that is almost everybody want name and fame. So through publication, you will also get name and fame. Now, why publication is needed in today's world? Because of development, because of technology, because of all the facilities are available at every level, the knowledge landscape has been rampantly changing, and we should collaborate. We should be in the same pace what is going on in the world. So for that purpose, publication is one of the important, very, very important phenomena that everybody has to follow this, so that we can get acquainted with all these evolving things which are going around. Now coming to the very specific importance of these publications. If we think in terms of researcher and academics, why they have to publish the things? So very first, to build their academic portfolio. Now at this level, I just remember the quote of our Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, that what he used to say for our Indian people, means how nicely he was knowing our countrymen, that unless and until it is a mandatory, unless and until we make it mandatory, we are not able to do any of the things. And that is why, to build this academic portfolio, you see that many of these PhDs or for MD courses, now publication is mandatory. At least 2 publications you have to do it in a peer review journal or in index journals, so that your thesis, your this academic process will get accepted. That is an essential phenomenon. If you see the promotions also, if you see the teachers record also, if you see the eligibility criteria for teachers also, in our eligibility criteria of teacher also, it is written that they should have 3 publication, 2 publication, 1 publication in their name. So to build your academic portfolio, publication is one of the essential phenomena. Second thing is for receiving the funds and grants. So if you have some publication in your name, any scientific publication, maybe collaborative, or any multicentric you have participated, any individual research you have carried out, and it could have been published, then that increases your curriculum, that your biodata gets increased, and you are more eligible to get the grant for that, as already you have done the work, as already you are in the process of that. So funding and grants, it becomes very easy for you to get it. Most essential as part of researcher and academician, if you are in the habit of publications, then you are in the recognition, you develop your networks, and you get recognized by all the communities of your peer communities, that he is the fellow who is doing very well organized work, right? See, everybody is taking the cases, everybody is querying. But still, in India, we recollect very few persons because they have collectively done the work, they have published it. So we came to know that, yes, this fellow is very good for this area. As far as this diabetes is concerned, so Dr. Gupta is there. If it is a PCOD, then from Lucknow, Dr. Gaurang Clinic, they came to us. Why this is so? Because they have done these, all the collective scientific work, and they have published in a scientific way. And that is why you can get the recognition and you can increase your network also. And when you are in a publications, when you publish as a researcher and academics, your contribution get increases. Your contribution to increase the knowledge get increases. You might have been heard about these index journals or your this number. As your articles has been utilized by different researchers to help their research, then your contribution, your value go on increasing. You might have been heard that every journal has its own index numbers. It has its own value that they used to advertise by that we have been this index value, we have this. It means their references are taken by the different researchers, and it is utilizing more and more. That is why when you are in the publishing, you can contribute in the global knowledge, and accordingly your academic record is go on increasing. When you are in a publication as a researcher and as an academician, your work get analyzed by the peer group, and by that your relevance, your reach has been went to that peer group, and through their suggestion, through their critical notes, it can amplify your work. So when you are doing with your own mind, and when you put this as a test, your synopses, your ideas, when you put for the test, then with their suggestions, with their ideas, you can amplify this work. And that is really very essential as far as the researcher is concerned. Lastly, as a researcher is concerned, publication process provides not only the satisfaction, but it is also giving you as a property for you. Nowadays, it has been means a legal thing that if your article is there, it is your intellectual property. And if you think that that cannot be used by anybody unless and until your permission is taken, that is also by law, it is unbinding. Right? So if you are searching for any database like Cochrane database or PubMed, many articles only abstract you are able to see. And if you want to see that whole article as a to write your review of your part of interest or your research interest, then you have to take the permission of this author, and unless and until you get that permission, you can't use that. So that point of view, it is in your intellectual property. Like we have our physical property, its property card, we have our property with this. So like that, whatever intellectually you are publishing, that also becomes your property, and by that also you can have certain amount you can take from those who are using it, or they use your name, so they will quote in acknowledgement your name. So that way you can increase your intellectual property as far as researcher and academician is concerned. Now next, as a professional growth, say you are not as a researcher or not in academics, but you are having just your own practice, or you are just professionally using this homeopathic field for yourself, then what way it is going to help you? So it will strengthen your curriculum writing. As you are expertising, you have published so many papers, you have done the clinical suggestion in these papers. Like that, if you are go on publishing, then it add to your qualification, social qualification, by which you can attract the people. In the professional here, for your profession to go to the higher level, to increase your position in the society, these publications has a tremendous role, and they are very essential, because you are adding to the knowledge which already existing, you are making it more and more brighter. That is also one of the essential portion of this. And when you are in the process of publications, whatever the cases you are having, whatever the case series you are having, whatever the collection of one disease you are dealing with, if you publish, your scientific thought, your collections, your methods of investigations, your methods of working out of all those very specific pathologies, make you master in that subject. It may be one clinical entity, or it may be the any systematic entity. You become the master of this, because through that you are not only curing the disease, but you can scientifically prove that what are the instruments to be used. Say, for example, you are curing the psoriasis number of cases. You are publishing these psoriasis cases, so you become the community came to know that yes, you know the much more about the psoriasis, or what are the areas to be focused, that you came to know. But when you come from the scientific publication point of view, just curing the psoriasis is not enough. You have to give the pre and post photographs. That is a very crude phenomena. But nowadays, different scales, different entities has been observed. If you are utilizing that, then you came to know that what way the lifestyle of the person, life expectancy of the person, interest of the life has been person, the level of the lives of the person, how it has been changed, what are the eruptions has been changed, what are the symptoms of the eruption has been changed with the due course of time, what are the changes has occurred in how many times, whether they are with the medications or they are with the natural phenomena. That also you can separate it out. So with the help of this scientific aptitude with the publications, you really become the master of that area. Okay? It is not just giving medicine and curing the patient, but you are utilizing all those scientific evidential parameters by which you can prove that by application of this has been changed, and this change is not a natural, but it is with the intervention of homeopathic medications. That is the beauty of this professional growth by publications of publishing our success. When you are in a habit of writing, you can improve your communication and writing skill, and it is not only helping for your publications. By when these skills are inculcated on you, it is always better to have a good communicator, and you are in a society, you also get a more and more prestige. You can improve your communication skill with the patients, with the peer group, with the other societies, in the other, where you can have your professional growth by the habit of writing. Once you develop this through publication, the scientificity of the aspect, scientific thought process, then you are able to take part in a major conversations. I remember before I participated, I had written so many articles, and in this, whenever I go to any of the peer, any scientific group or anywhere, they just usually asked me that how homeopathy works. You tell me that, and it was really very embarrassing for us that what should I answer. But when I develop all these writing skill and publications, with my own experience, now I can tell very confidently, I can talk with any of the scientists that I am a clinician. My job is to see the disease, give the medications, and show you the scientific way what cure is. Now, what way homeopathy works, it is not my job. It is the job of basic science person. Give me the collaboration, any basic science person, and then we can do it. So these type of confidences, these are the things. It becomes possible when we go on thinking from scientific point of view, not just emotionally. That similia similibus curantur is very nice, and Honeyman has been founded it as an homeopath graduate. I should stick up with this. These things are not there. We have the emotional attachment to homeopathy, but to the world we need an evidence-based, we need an scientific way, we need in a palatable way. So that area has been very nicely cleared in our mind, and if it is there, you are able to speak in at any of the platform, I can assure you. So that is why I had written that effective writing skill allows the profession to participate on a broader scientific conversations, and that is really needed as a part of time. Now came to the next part, that which are the general broader impact of publication which occurs on the society. So first, when the government see all these publications, all these matters which are coming either in the newspaper, in the magazines, or this, that get attract the attention of the policymakers. And I'm just not talking about the government, but of the any apex bodies. Right? Now you see that as far as our academic is concerned, curriculum has been changed. Now what used to happen initially, only the curriculum used to be implemented. Now it is not there. Only when many of the teachers are writing about many things. Now, whenever before implementing, they put in the public domain. They ask our they ask our opinion. We critically study all those things. They are implementing or not implementing, that is a different story. But whatever the policy they are making, immediately it is not making. It comes for the public domain, and then everybody got the chance to critically analyze those phenomena and send your suggestion, so that necessary changes, if it is needed, they can be done. So that way, publication is very essential to influence the policy and decision making. So it also support for the education and curriculum development, right? So that is now a very rampantly growing area, because too many radical changes has been occurred since last 3 to 5 years in this academic field of homeopathy. I don't know where we are going, but all these things are going on again and again. For that, lot many articles has been published. If you read that, then we are able to understand that why these areas are needed, why competency is needed, why competency-based curriculum is needed, why this dynamism is there, why this lesson plan is given this way, why this teaching learning methodology has to be utilized this, what is the Miller's or Bloom's domain, so that we can make our topic in this way or that way. That all are because of this. Again, more and more publications, we get acquainted with all those things, or we can make the doubt clear because of more and more such a type of focused publications. When we read more and more, when you see the publications more and more, it also gives the innovation in our practice, because so many ideas come to us, and we are trying to give the best to our patients, right? So that also gives the more drive to our innovation in our practice. Now, if you are writing on the homeopathic article, though in the newspaper or in the magazines, many of the areas which are unexplored in the common societies, that we can explore, like homeopathy is very lately working, homeopathy is used only in a very severe pathological conditions. These misconceptions can be taken out when you go on publishing the article which very common people continuously using. Yeah? So by this way, you can make the people engage in the homeopathic medical sciences. Just draw their misconception out, or share your success into the practice, so that more and more people get attracted to the homeopathy. Now, this ensuring the quality and credibility, this is possible only through the real scientific journals. Just writing the things is not enough, but when you are writing through a very scientific point of view, which is accepted as in the peer review journals, then whatever the methodology we are applying, or whatever the findings we are going to be applied, that has its own credit. You are writing an article, if it is coming in non-review journal, non-peer review journal, and if it is coming in peer review journal, or if it is coming in Scoopers or like that peer review journals, then its validity varies. When you are giving your article anywhere, then it, as a part of peer review process, it is a part of criticism. They will give you so many feedbacks, and many of these feedbacks improves our knowledge, improves our habit, improves our techniques of doing the things. They all are suggestive corrections if you take it positively, right? So by improving those areas, by correcting all these things, we are increasing the quality and credibility of whatever the work we are doing. So rather than taking it negatively, we should take it more and more positively, and ready to get these feedbacks. And these feedbacks are going to ensure that whatever the work we are doing, whatever the things we are doing, they are on the acceptable ways. So when you write the article and send to the publishers, many times they get rejected, or so many queries has been asked, many explanation has been asked, many times consent is asked, many times the pre-post investigation is asked, many times master chart has been reviewed. Right? So many times what way the consent has been taken has been asked. But these are not the frustrating things, but on the contrary, these are more constructive things, by which we can improve our working functionality in a more and more scientific way. And when you pass through these phenomena, whatever you publish, that is really creditable and it is a really very, very qualitative. And when you pass through all these things, then it increases the trust and transparency of research, because now the research, nothing is hidden. Everything is to be very, very transparent. Everything is to be in a detailed manner. Everything is to be in black and white, has to be completed. And such a research article, such a research publications increase the quality and credibility of everything. Now, these are for the general public. If you want to combat all the misinformation which is spreading into the society, just you can't talk one to one person. The best instrument which is in our hand is writing the article on that. You publish many of the things on the through magazines, through newspapers, through any of the local paper, whatever the media people are using. On that, when you are writing something and publishing, then all this misinformation you can put aside, and real knowledge of the about the homeopathy or our science you can disseminate to the society and to the people. As far as this public education also, these are the recent examples, that is in COVID-19 pandemic. So many things, means our homeopathy has become more and more popular as far as Gujarat, Maharashtra and other states, where there was not so popularity before the COVID, but after COVID, through these knowledge, to the spread of these, it has become quite much and much popular one. Now, the importance of this publication for an institute or for academic. So this academic and institution, though they are buildings, but whatever the working force is there, it is all the human beings. And all these human beings, if they are, though they are doing their own individual publications or a combined publications or in a group publications or as a team they are publishing anything, ultimately it is helping to make the name of institution more and more. Right now, you might be knowing, if here some teachers are there from homeopathic colleges. Very recently, our National Commission of Homeopathy has done the Quality Council testing. They are giving ranking to all the colleges, and in that publication has a certain marks. I think 20 or 40 marks are there for this publication only. Right? So our teachers, group teachers, and hospital side, if publications are more and more, your ranking of institution go on increasing. All these QCI, NDRF, many, all the institutions which are ranked, they are based not only on the infrastructure, not only on the number of facilities available, but publication is also one of the important areas which is needed as far as academic is concerned, institution is concerned. Really what is expected is to, they add something to make the science grow ahead. And how it is become possible, it is only through the publication, only through the critical analysis of all our phenomena, only through getting the newer and newer ideas to make the science more and more utility oriented. Then if you are in the habit of publications, you are taking this smaller research, then you can get the different projects from the different companies, ICMR or this IUSA systems. They are also having many funding for the different research activities. It may be an individual research activity, or it may be some part as a multicentric activity if it is there. And if you have the research experience, you have published any paper on the doing the research, then it becomes very easy to get that proposal gets a sanction, and you get the funding, and ultimately you get the reputations. And if any students are involved in that project, and if they are writing it that, so it becomes very easy for student to get recruited, as he has already the experience of all those things. So though the individual humans are working, but they are working as an institutional level, then that institution is also growing through the work of these publications. And it is not only the research or these things. Many of the books or many of the periodicals, if you are taking it out, Many of the chapters you are rearranging, many of the articles maybe of corrections in the curriculum, maybe suggestion of different technologies is concerned. Nowadays, there is a separate department has been created in all the homeopathic institution, that is METU. I hope everybody is knowing, Medical Education and Technology Units. That is also helping to boost the different teaching methodology. You can have the internal research or using the different teaching methodology for different aspect, and that you can collect and that you can publish. So that way also your institutional ranking go on increasing. So I had a lot to talk on this publication, but at the tapering end, I just want to say that publication is not just about sharing your work. It is just contributing to a trusted or evolving body of knowledge that shapes our world. If you see our journey right from the inception of the homeopathy by Hahnemann himself till today, so lot many steps we have come across and how these are possible. If you go immediately with the Hahnemann, if he has experimented, but that experiment he has not disseminated through the publication of an article, then world is not able to know that what this system is. And through that article, many research persons, many the postgraduate students get attracted to the Hahnemann, and they are studying the homeopathy. It was not that it was at that time immediately the course was started, but it was only the article of Master Hahnemann, who has very lucid language. Though for our Indian, that language is not so lucid. When you read that article, the principle and art of curing by the same principle, but for that, all those bright-minded people get attracted, and they thought that something is very new into that, and they followed him. So all the first student of Hahnemann, they are all these research-minded people. Even if you take the example of Dr. Herring, he was the big criticizer of homeopathy. While he was writing article against the homeopathy, but he got an experience of arsenic, the gangrene to his hand, and then he turns out to be the very good homeopath, and not only a very good homeopath, but he has turned the shape of practice. If you see his guiding symptom contribution, if you see his law of cure, which he has mentioned in a very lucid way, which already master has discovered, all the way he has materialized the materia medica in a different grading form, that gives the shape to our practice. On basis of that, Kent has prepared the very good repertory with all the concept of these gradations. This concept of gradation, it is not limited only with the medicine, but that has culminated with the gradation of symptoms also, that all the symptoms which patient is telling are not important. We have to grade the symptom, find out which are more important. So like that, if you see, the whole system has been shaped by all these pioneer person through their writings only. If they are only practicing and they are not sharing their concept with us, we are nowhere, I think. So that is the glory of this publication. Whatever the little experience we are having, we should be in a habit to share with the world. We should in a habit to make it for the criticism. Don't get scared of all these criticism, because by that only we can make the homeopathy more and more brighter, more and more public oriented, and more easy for our practitioners. Now, though I am telling you again and again about the publication, but still there is a scarcity of the publication in our homeopathy as far as this today's time is concerned. What is needed as scientific publications, they are lacking. What are the reasons? From my own personal experiences, I came to know that these are the very common reasons by which we are not able to publish. First is lack of experience, that we have never written something, so we are hesitant, and we are not in a position that whether I am able to write or not. So that hesitancy, lack of experience, never engaged in the writing of any things, that is one of the biggest barrier of writing. Second is poor writing habit. So if you are writing, it is not up to the standard, so we are hesitating whether it will be accepted, whether it will not be accepted. Like that, poor writing habit, maybe grammatical, maybe in the language of the science, it's very difficult for us. The same thing as about writing anxiety. Okay? because when you write any article about the concerned subject, that has its own language, that has its own flow, that has its own terminology to be used. So that anxiety makes the person lacking in writing the things. Next, observed material things about the barriers of writing is unfamiliarity with the requirement of scholarly writing. So if you want to write the article, very first thing is you should be in a habit of reading more and more. And I think we are lacking in reading more and more. If you develop the habit of reading more and more, then you are in a position to get familiar with what the scientific writing is, and you are in a position to write it in a scientific way. Then the lack of confidence in the writing ability. Then the fear of failure. If I write something and if it is not come to the expected marks, then what will happen? And ultimately, we are a tremendous resistance to the feedback. Any critical things which anybody make the comment, then it's very difficult to digest the things which we are not happy with that. So these are the very common observations which I myself gone through these experiences. But with the time, with the there are solutions for all those things. We can overcome with these barriers, and we are become and contributor to the knowledge, and we are able to give something to this science through the publications. So at the tapering end, these are the some of the references which I had used to prepare this presentation, and whatever the commentary I had told, they are the part of this. Why, before concluding, I just give the acknowledgement to Dr. M.K. Sahani sir, who has founded me by any means, and it's my pleasure to be a part on this platform to share my ideas with all your valued study group. Then Aparna Parekh, who has really very nice for me that she has suggested my name to Mridul Kumar Sahani, and I acknowledge the name of my principal who gave me permission to be a part of this forum and to present this. And lastly, but not the least, all my PG, UG student, PhD colleagues, and all my core members who all the time discuss with me, and that clears my understanding more and more at the deeper and more clearer, more true level and more scientific level. So I thanks to all of you. And at the end, I just want to ask you whether anything you want to add or anything you want to correct to me, and just hand over it to Dr. Neha madam.
Yeah, a wonderful session by Dr. Mahavir Ghia on a very, we might say a very important topic, because without publishing our cases and whatever we are doing in our clinics, especially in our clinics, whatever research work is done, that gets documented very easily because that is all written there. But whatever we are all doing in our clinics, the cases, the real-time cases, whatever experiences every physician is gaining from them, that documentation is very much mandatory. And as Dr. Mahavir has mentioned in his presentation, that we sometimes hesitate due to different barriers, due to language barrier, or we are just not confident enough that, oh, we can do that also. We can also document our cases and, collect our data and, collect our cases and make a gist of it and a written thing about it, and, present our cases in front of everybody, in front of the homeopathic fraternity, and also in front of the allopathic fraternity, because that is very much important. These are the things, because the publication is the thing that has taken homeopathy to a whole new different level nowadays. 10 years back, such thing was very much in a limited area of things. Now it has been expanded to national and international levels.
Yeah.
And day by day, it is gaining new heights. So obviously, documentation is a very important process, and every doctor should uh, uh, try to consolidate and make the cases together and send them for publications. Like, for example, I'm living in Meerut and practicing in Meerut, and there are a hell lot of homeopathic doctors here but very few of them want to, present or show the world that whatever the cases they are, treating. And there is no written documentation. Very less doctors are, coming up to show up the cases. I don't know what's the reason behind it. Maybe they are hesitant, or maybe the language barrier. But I myself try to, write my cases and try to present as much as possible, because that's the thing that will take homeopathy further. So, and I guess Dr. Dhanesh also agrees with this.
If anybody want to just suggest me something,
Yes,
correct
yes,
me or
sir.
add to this. Yeah.
Yes, Mahavir, sir, it's really a very good session indeed, and you really show how important in publication. Because most people simply sit on the clinic and believe that, oh, I'm getting so much of cases and I'm doing lot of curing lot of patients, and I'm getting lot of patients, and this is what is homeopathy. But yes, but still most of the people don't know that homeopathy can do a lot of things for different situations and different conditions. Only if we people come forward and publish the case stories and their result and the research aspect in each and every, for particularly even in PCOD cases, we can make a short research by the person himself. Even if you just have 5 cases in your hand, then you can say how whether the cases are being improved, how many cases are improved, how many are successfully cured, and what more required to cure all these cases, whether you need to refer this case, all these things. And then naturally, the concept of pseudoscience by the so-called people from the other side can be eliminated. But our research people, a lot of youngsters are doing a lot of work, as Dr. Neha suggested. They are coming forward and presenting cases. Even the webinar itself is a documented evidence, because we are publishing it in the YouTube, and once it comes to the
Yes.
YouTube, naturally people know that, oh, these kind of things are happening with the homeopathy. This itself is a publication. Am I
Yes.
right,
Yeah,
sir?
Yes.
Definitely. This has to be there, and we should be open for all the criticisms.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Very nice
Thank
to be
you,
with
sir.
you. Thank you.
So a wonderful session by Dr. Mahavir, and I expect him to again, join us at IFPH for another sessions, maybe with some cases also.
Sure.
And it will be a pleasure to hear him. And it is almost time of our English session, and for the next Malayalam session, I would like to hand over to Dr. Mariama John. Thank you, Dr. Mahavir, and thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Dhanesh, and
Okay, thank you.
everyone present here. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you. Thank you, Sri.
Thank you, Dr.